Hi everybody. As they said, I'm a pre-seed B2B investor based in San Francisco, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to raise capital in Silicon Valley. So the first thing just to note is that when people ask about fundraising at the very early stage, are you really going to raise money? Probably not, actually. It's really hard to raise money from investors. And that may be because of the macro environment like right now, or just because of the competition like the previous few years. So for most entrepreneurs at the very early stages, you've got to be more reliant on your personal runway. So savings, perhaps you're lucky and you have access to more funds, more time, etc. Maybe you're working part-time, working on a startup part-time. Those kinds of things are the standard mechanisms. When I was in your position, and I really can't recommend this, I was running it on my credit card. Bad idea. But nevertheless, this is all the various things that people do versus actually raising money from investors. That's the reality. Now, the other thing is that you won't necessarily raise first from Silicon Valley investors. That, again, is very tough. It's tough to break into the network in a lot of ways. And it's tough to beat the crowd when there's, I probably receive about 3,000 companies coming to my inbox every year. I'm going to pick about 8 to 12 of those that I'm actually going to invest in. So it's a really tough probability ratio to work with. Much more likely you're going to raise money from people that you know, people that already believe in you regardless of the idea. So affinity. And that might also be, something where you may not know those people, but they may have some kind of association with you. Maybe they're from the same hometown. Maybe they went to the same university as you did. And then if you're thinking about raising money in Silicon Valley, you have to think about why US investors would care. Most of us in Silicon Valley have lots of opportunities right here. So why would we want to invest in a company that's based in the United Kingdom? Are you based in the United Kingdom? Are you already here? Are you selling to US customers? Is it such an exciting opportunity in Europe that it's going to become a huge opportunity in the United States as well? So really think about why a US investor would care before you even, try to target investors out here, because we are kind of picky because of the number of opportunities that are available. And so for most startups, including myself, when I was in your shoes, I had to come here. I have moved, my life to Silicon Valley, and most people, that's probably what you have to do if you want to raise money. You're going to have to be in the United States or Canada. You're going to have to base your business here, probably move your family here if that's what you already have, and that's a big commitment. US startups do certainly raise more money. And that is a big benefit in a lot of ways. But it's also not the only way to make money for yourself, right? I think that there is this tendency to believe that Elon Musk's path of raising billions and billions of dollars is the only way. And I don't think that's reality at all. You can raise a small amount of money and keep the business running forever and making maybe a few $1 million a year. And that's actually a really good lifestyle. I certainly can't be upset about that being a VC. Then also, there are people who maybe raise a small amount of money, but sell their company not for a public number like $1 billion, but maybe for $100 million. And that outcome, maybe because they've only done 10, 20% dilution, actually is even bigger than what it would have been had they raised more money and gone public. And that is actually my story as well. So in a couple of the companies where I had wins, if we'd taken the money earlier, if we'd taken the earlier acquisition, we would have actually made more cash despite having less prestige, less press. Maybe I wouldn't be talking to you today. So the 5 headlines are for when you're thinking about raising money in Silicon Valley, like personal runway over the macro environment. It's much more important to think about how much time you can give yourself. Affinity over Silicon Valley. So think about who the people you might be able to talk to who would believe in you regardless of whether or not you have experience doing this versus people where it's much more competitive. Why would US investors care? Are you ready to move? And then just because US startups raise more, that may not be the best path for you and your business.
Ash, thank you. That's great. That's 5 really key actionable insights that we can all work on.